Hey guys, it's Gadget, and ignore the mess behind me, ignore everything else that's going on and stuff because this topic isn't about the craziness that's been going on in this house. This topic is not going to be about anything except the fact that 20 years later, some of us are forgetting something and not teaching our children about something that was very important in this world, and that is 9/11. And many people still do not understand what happened, refuse to read about what happens, or explain what happens. And it hurts because 20 years ago, I was working at Babies R Us, and it was the first time I was driving the car because I had just gotten my license in July. Dad was keeping my driver's license because when you're on driving, you're on a 6-month probation. He didn't want me to get any tickets, and he said I would only take my license out during that time if it was an emergency. That day, he got a funny feeling, and he said, "Here's your license. Tell your mother to give you the car." Mom was fighting me for the car. Mom was saying, "You're not going anywhere. What the hell?" And everything. "I need the car today." And I said, "Mom, Dad said to give me the car, right?" And I was fighting. I said, "Mom, I'm going to be late for work. Give me the car." Right? "No, no, I'll drive you." I said, "No, Mom, I'm already late. Let me take the car and everything. You stay home and stuff," right? Took the car, went to work, 8:30 in the morning, Babies R Us. We're setting everything up. Now upstairs we had where you sell the cribs and everything, and a play area, and a TV for the adults, the photography studio, all the other stuff and everything, right? I was downstairs doing the customer service desk and all the other things, when all of a sudden I had to go upstairs to drop off some stuff, and TV was turned on, and we see what we thought was a movie at first, and then we're like, this is a news breaking story. So we didn't know what was going on. One of my supervisors, her son worked down in World Trade and everything. She couldn't get a hold of him. Everybody else was trying to, my head supervisor who was above her, trying to call corporate to see what's going on. Meanwhile, we have people at the door going and banging, "Let me in, let me in, let me in. I need food, bomb, whatever, and anything. Let me in, let me in, let me in." Right? "I want food, I need food." Like, people were panicking. We were like, we'll let you in for now, but we have to shut our doors. We were told to shut our doors. So we were not allowed to leave until corporate office said to leave because no one knew what was going on. We didn't know if it was safer to stay at the store or if it was safer to get on the road and drive, because we didn't know if the highways were going to be shut down. We didn't know where we were going to be and stuff, right? And if you guys hear anything in the background, that's Ari being silly. Okay? So basically, we didn't know what was happening. About an hour later, we were told, "Get the hell out of the place. Get home as fast as you can," and everything, right? So me, being the new driver, I'm like, okay, who's getting in my car? Who's getting whatever? Because I could drop people off as I go, right? But everybody else had their cars. For some reason, it was the first day everyone had their cars, right? So I'm speeding down Central Avenue in Westchester, Yonkers and everything, right? Because we were on the border of Scarsdale. Speeding down everything, right? Cops are telling me, "Go, gun it, get the hell off the roads," right? As I kept going and everything, I went through Tuckahoe, I went through everything, got to the Deegan, because there's a spot on the Deegan where if I had taken it, I could just get right to near the senior center, like the senior home living and stuff, St. Patrick's, and then head down my block to get home, right? If anything. But every time we tried to get an exit to get off, it was getting shut down. You saw them putting the barricades up, barricades up. They said, "Go to the next one, speed up, go to the next one. We'll radio ahead how many cars are coming," right? And all the trucks are passing, fire trucks are going, get over, let us," right? So I'm trying to get over. A lot of cars, there's like 3 cars ahead of me trying to get over. I could see out of my rearview mirror, there was the police, the fire, everything coming, ambulances, you name it. I finally got to one of the exits that wasn't closed. It was Van Cortlandt Park South, which is close to where I am. It's down the hill from my house. I was the last car because everything behind me was all basically fire trucks and everything. I was the last car off of the Deegan. They shut down 233rd. They shut down all the stuff going straight down and everything. Like I said, guys, if you hear anything, that's Ari, because I'm ignoring her right now. So I get home, find out that Dad with DOT had been at Building 1 the day before dropping off payroll checks. Great, my dad was dropping payroll checks off the day before at Building 1, right? Then they were at the union meeting in Queens, because usually they're down there for sometimes the meetings and stuff. But because it was like whatever was going on, my dad said he looked out the window and he saw the plane hit. He said it was like Vietnam all over again, right? So his crew, all of them had to get the trucks. They were the ones shutting down the highways and everything so that the ambulances, the fire department, that everyone could get in to save the people down there and stuff. Here I am dealing with mom, who is now laying on a couch, not moving, like you see in that episode of South Park and everything, the mom not moving off the couch and everything, right? And everything. So I'm there. We weren't sure when we were going to go back to work. We had to figure out, they were going to let us know and everything. But all that time until I went back to work, mom was on the couch. Dad was out doing overtime, trying to get everything down there, the highways back. They were trying to reopen them, trying to figure out what's going on, what was damaged, everything. So until we heard things were happening, like who had passed, who's missing, there was so many things. It was so chaotic. It was so, you didn't know. And then at the same time, my sister was pregnant with my niece. She was due the month in October, and my mother was freaking out that she would go into labor and everything and stuff like that. And part of the reason I got my license was that in case of anything and nobody was around, or if my sister was home, or anything, I could drive her in case anything, But she was up with my brother-in-law up in Westchester at his parents' house, so she stayed there and everything, and it was just basically back and forth until we finally got back to work, where they were they had a meeting about it, and they said people just didn't know how to react, didn't know how to act during it. Right now the world is hurting. Our job is to basically provide good customer service, everything. And I was like, okay, and everything. So we were just trying to move forward through all this, trying to live for it. And at the same time, during all that, I was the idiot that was down there working for Actors Rep, because 20 years ago, I was acting. I haven't changed much. But 20 years ago, I was acting. And I was acting on Law and Order, Rescue Me, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Third Watch, and some pilots and everything. I did movies like Martin and Orloff, Stepford Wives, Lobster Farm, Last First Kiss, which is Hitch, Coda, things like that, and Enchanted. My last movie was Enchanted. But all that time, we didn't know the air was bad. We didn't know things were crazy and stuff, right? Technically, I have to call and prove that I was down there while I was acting, because what happened was they said if you were down there, all they gave you was a Z-Pack to help fight against any infections or anything. So I'm sitting here now with an intradermal lump in my knee, which is sort of cancerous, they claim, but it is cancerous. And I have coastal chondritis, but we found out that's hereditary, but it was aggravated. So we have to see if this is all related to me being down there from 9/11 and everything and stuff during that time of being an actress and everything and stuff. Well, background actress, and I was doing other things, but some things they can't do because the productions were, this was all going through all of this and everything, that things got destroyed, film reels and all that stuff. Yeah. But all those lives that were lost, everyone kept telling me stories how they were delayed for some reason. They were locked out of their homes and they lost their keys. Some people miss going to work down there. The sad part of it, though, is when I was working at Babies R Us, I met the wife of one of the gentlemen that passed away on Tower 1, who was working up there. She was about to give birth to her child and everything, and she came in after she had given birth and told us and everything. You didn't realize who came to Babies R Us. There were a lot of newscasters, actors from Law and Order, producers, things. So a lot of people who lost loved ones and everything in 9/11, we knew. And that was the saddest part too, because we knew these people. Because this is a baby store. This is a place where you're bringing life into the world and everything, right? So you're trying to celebrate that. And to lose someone, we were trying to tell them, at least you have the blessing. You have a blessing with you. And a lot of people were like, yeah, they left their legacy. They will be remembered. They will have faith. They will have everything. They can move on because they will see that person they lost and the person they give birth to. So 9/11 for me was a crazy one because of everything. And right now it's another crazy one because people forgot how to act, how to be civil. Look at the world today. You guys are thinking it's the wild, wild west out there. Tomorrow, we don't know what's going to happen. Because how many people are going to be civil while they do the memorial tomorrow? Are people going to run around and be stupid on the trains, be whatever or anything? Or are they going to actually want to know what's going on? There are kids that don't know how this was because they weren't around at this time. But you forgot to tell them that we had a tragedy here. We had an event that changed everything. There was one attempt in the early 90s, and it was foiled. It damaged the building enough, but it was foiled. We don't know if that was the test for what happened in 2001. And all I'm saying is to people is this. I'm stuck in my situations because of things and outside influences. Just don't teach your history wrong. Teach your children to fight, to question, to understand that if you see something, you say something. We forgot about that today. Don't teach them that it's ignorance that's going to be bliss, because the ignorance is showing up right now that we're letting things happen again. Is there going to be another wake-up call? Or are we going to act civil tomorrow and act like, okay, enough is enough. We're going to stop being violent. We're going to question everything. We're going to pay our respects to those that are lost. That we are not going to forget that there was a tragedy here. That this is not a joke. That life matters. That everyone is connected to this. Because you may have known someone, dated someone, or the children who don't know because they weren't here, the 20-year-olds, like my niece, you don't know how they got connected to this. Remember 9/11. Don't dismiss it, don't whatever. Teach it. Learn it. Remember it. Never forget it. That is hollow ground down there. That is where many lost their faith and lives. Because destiny decided that they needed the angels back. Because I think the way the world is going now, those angels up there are needed desperately. Do not give them any more angels, though, because of ignorance, disrespect, and the fact you think that everybody owes you. Nobody owes you anything. You owe the universe. Because they brought you into the world that night your parents decided to have some fun. Give thanks to the universe that you know people who saw that, lived that, and went through that. Because maybe you will learn some humility and act like a civil human being. Maybe you will question things, learn about things, learn your history, and stop destroying it. Because if we forget our history, this will happen again. Yes, we had a bad thing happen in the past of many tragic events. This is one of them. But if we keep hiding in the dark with no light, we're going to wither away and die from the light of nothing there but darkness. Because the light that we need will shine bright once the ignorance is gone. Once you learn your history, because it'll spark and ignite. And it will say to you, maybe I should check this out. Maybe, just maybe, that what happened that day does impact me 20 years later. That it does tell me that we need to wake up. We need to love each other, care about each other. And we need to start taking back everything, including our streets, subways, and taking those kids who are doing this and showing them what happens when people act stupid. All because of pride, all because they think they're owed something, all because they are jealous, all because of anything that you can think of, because that day was the saddest of them all. Too many of my friends are gone. And I can't, and I don't want any more friends gone because of ignorance, because you didn't say something, you didn't see when you saw something. You didn't stand up for something because you're afraid of what others will think. Do you think I care what others think? I get called every name in the friggin' book, even by my mother. Yes, I get upset. Yes, I get whatever. But I know my truth. I speak my truth, and I do my homework and learn my history. I don't let anybody else tell me what my history is when I lived it, that I know it. That includes my medical, that includes my family, that includes anything. If you are not with me, you don't know it. And I would love to explain my history, because that's what history is. It's a story. It's a tale about a time when things were either happy, sad, or tragic. I want you guys to wake up, because if you give away your right to think, your right to free speech as the First Amendment, your right to decide, and your right to fight against people who want to take away that from you, like they did on 9/11. They thought they could take that away from us. They forgot they were dealing with New Yorkers, because I know my New Yorkers would not back down. They would pick up arms and start saying, okay, who is this and everything? How do we catch him and stuff? Today's New Yorkers, I'm very upset with you. You would rather run and hide and let the villains and everything run the streets with the vigilantes. You are not fighters. Though that day, 9/11, those were fighters, because they never forgot, never gave up, and they actually fought to stay alive. Do you think people down there ran away and hid? No. They ran into the fires, into the asbestos, into everything to save those. How many of you today can say that? How many people 20 years later can say, I'm going to go save a life? I don't think so. So I'm going to remind you guys, 9/11 happened. It is real. It was scary. And to see all the fire trucks run alongside you with tears in police officers and firemen's eyes because they didn't know what happened, that half of their brothers in the, however they call it, I'm trying to remember how they call it, their brothers in Union lost their lives down there. Families lost family. And all I see today is people just running and hiding, calling this a joke. This was not a joke. You didn't live through it, but learn about it, respect it, and research it. Watch the programs on the news, watch everything else, and on 9/11 tomorrow, I pray that these people put down their violence, put down their weapons, and show respect down in that city, because I have not seen 1 ounce of respect in New York City. I have not seen any ounce of respect on the subways. Put down the guns. Put down the violence. Knock it off. This is not the Wild West. Tomorrow is a day that we will remember those who gave their lives, who lost their lives in a tragedy because someone decided, oh, let's go destroy something and break their spirit. Old New Yorkers, we didn't break our spirits. You just made us stronger. Today's New Yorkers, I can't say it. To me, you would run and hide. You would not go in and save your fellow man. the way these heroes did, the way these people did. Some people safely made it out of those buildings and still went back in to save others. So please, 20 years later, learn your history. Give them the respect they deserve tomorrow. And I pray that maybe this is the wake-up call you need to put down those guns, put down the violence, stop acting like you are owed something. You owe the universe, and the universe can take it away from you. The universe can do what it wants with you, just like that day, because it needed those angels. And I can see why it needed it now, 20 years later. Look at this way the city is. I hope you do not forget. I hope you remember that life is short. So stop the violence and pay your respects tomorrow. Put down those weapons, because you're not owed anything. You are not owed anything. They are owed something. They are owed a life. But they can't get that life back. You have a life. Do something good with it. Thank you.